Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you're there? Or struggled to remember someone's name even though you've known them for years? If this sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. Memory lapses happen to all of us from time to time, but as we age, they can start to feel more frequent or frustrating. The good news is that memory loss isn't inevitable. In fact, research shows that simple habits can help protect your brain and keep it sharp well into your golden years. Think about the people you know who seem to defy aging. Maybe it's a neighbor in their 70s who still plays tennis every weekend, or an aunt in her 80s who remembers everyone's birthday without fail. What's their secret? Is it genetics, luck, or something else entirely? Science suggests it's often the result of small, consistent choices they make every day, choices that anyone can adopt, no matter where they are in life. In today's video, I want to share 5 simple habits you can start incorporating right away to support your memory and overall brain health. These aren't complicated or expensive strategies. They're practical steps backed by research that could make a big difference over time. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end, because the last tip might just surprise you. Before we dive in, let me clarify something important. This video is for informational purposes only, and is based on publicly available research. Everyone's health journey is unique, so always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your lifestyle, diet, or exercise routine. Scientific knowledge evolves constantly, and what works for one person may not work for another. That said, let's get started with the first habit that can completely change how you approach each day. Let's talk about movement. You've probably heard countless times that staying active is good for your body, but did you know it's also one of the best things you can do for your brain? Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, delivering oxygen and nutrients that keep neurons healthy. A study published in Neurology found that older adults who engaged in regular physical activity had better cognitive function than those who were sedentary. Even light activities like walking, gardening, or dancing count. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, I'm too old to start exercising now. But here's the thing, age doesn't have to be a barrier. Take my friend Margaret, for example. She didn't start taking daily walks until she was 68. At first, she could barely go a block without feeling winded. But within months, she was walking 2 miles a day and noticed improvements in both her energy levels and her memory. She told me, walking became my me time, and it made such a difference in how I felt. If walking isn't your thing, consider other low-impact options like swimming, tai chi, or even chair exercises. The key is finding something you enjoy so it doesn't feel like a chore. Start small, 1 10-minute session a day, and gradually build up. Consistency matters more than intensity. Over time, you'll likely notice benefits beyond just improved memory, like better sleep, reduced stress, and a brighter mood. But movement is only part of the equation. Another powerful way to protect your brain is through mental stimulation. Just like muscles need exercise to stay strong, your brain thrives when challenged. Activities like puzzles, reading, learning a new skill, or playing musical instruments can create new neural connections and strengthen existing ones. Researchers call this concept cognitive reserve, which essentially means building extra brain power to buffer against age-related decline. One fascinating study from the University of California, Berkeley, followed seniors who participated in mentally stimulating activities regularly. They discovered that these individuals had a lower risk of developing dementia compared to those who led more passive lifestyles. So whether it's joining a book club, taking an art class, or finally tackling that crossword puzzle habit, keeping your mind engaged is crucial. You might be wondering, how much mental stimulation is enough? The answer varies, but think of it like brushing your teeth. It's not about doing it perfectly, it's about doing it consistently. Even dedicating 15 minutes a day to a challenging activity can add up over time. Personally, I love trying new recipes. Cooking forces me to focus, problem solve, and use different parts of my brain simultaneously. Plus, it's rewarding to sit down and enjoy the delicious results afterward. Now that we've covered these essential habits, staying physically active and keeping your mind sharp, let's move on to something just as important. How small daily changes can add years to your life. Because while moving your body and engaging your brain are critical, there's another piece of the puzzle that plays a huge role in memory and overall health. Stay tuned, because what comes next might be the easiest change you'll ever make. Now that we've talked about moving your body and keeping your mind sharp, let's dive into another cornerstone of maintaining a healthy brain: nutrition. What you eat doesn't just fuel your body, it also has a profound impact on your brain. Think of your brain as a high-performance car. If you put low-quality fuel in the tank, it's not going to run smoothly. The same goes for your diet. Eating nutrient-rich foods can help support memory, focus, and overall brain function. One of the most well-researched diets for brain health is the Mediterranean diet. You've probably heard of it before. It emphasizes whole, unprocessed foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fatty fish. Studies have shown that people who follow this style of eating tend to have better cognitive function and a lower risk of dementia. In fact, a study published in Frontiers in Nutrition found that older adults who adhered closely to the Mediterranean diet had a 30% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease compared to those who didn't. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Does this mean I have to give up all my favorite foods? Absolutely not. It's not about perfection. It's about making small, sustainable changes. For example, instead of reaching for chips or cookies as a snack, try swapping them out for a handful of almonds or some fresh fruit. Or if you love pasta, consider using whole grain noodles and loading up your plate with veggies and lean protein like grilled chicken or salmon. These little tweaks add up over time and can make a big difference in how you feel. Speaking of salmon, let's talk about omega-3 fatty acids. These essential fats are like superheroes for your brain. They're found in abundance in fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines, as well as in flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. Omega-3s play a crucial role in building cell membranes in the brain and reducing inflammation, which can contribute to memory loss. A study from the University of Pittsburgh even showed that older adults with higher levels of omega-3s in their blood performed better on memory tests than those with lower levels. If fish isn't your thing, don't worry. There are plenty of plant-based sources of omega-3s too. One of my favorite snacks is a smoothie made with spinach, banana, chia seeds, and almond milk. It's delicious, refreshing, and packed with nutrients that support brain health. Plus, it's so easy to whip up in the morning or as an afternoon pick-me-up. Another dietary superstar worth mentioning is antioxidants. These compounds help protect your brain from oxidative stress, which is essentially wear and tear caused by free radicals. Berries, especially blueberries, are loaded with antioxidants and have been linked to improved memory and cognitive function. A study conducted at Harvard University followed older adults who consumed at least 2 servings of berries per week and found that they delayed cognitive decline by up to 2.5 years compared to those who ate fewer berries. And here's a fun fact: dark chocolate is another great source of antioxidants. Just 1 square of dark chocolate, make sure it's at least 70% cocoa, can provide a boost of flavonoids, which are powerful antioxidants that benefit the brain. So go ahead and treat yourself, your brain will thank you. Of course, no discussion about nutrition would be complete without addressing hydration. Did you know that even mild dehydration can impair concentration and memory? As we age, our sense of thirst diminishes, which makes it easier to become dehydrated without realizing it. To stay on top of your water intake, keep a reusable bottle nearby and sip throughout the day. If plain water feels boring, try infusing it with slices of lemon, cucumber, or mint for a refreshing twist. You might be wondering, how do I fit all of this into my busy schedule? Trust me, I get it, life gets hectic, even after retirement. But here's the beauty of these habits. They don't require hours of prep or drastic lifestyle changes. Start by incorporating 1 or 2 new foods into your meals each week. Maybe swap white rice for quinoa, or add a side salad to dinner. Over time, these small adjustments will become second nature. Now that we've covered movement, mental stimulation, and nutrition, let's shift gears slightly to talk about something equally important but often overlooked: sleep. Yes, sleep. You might think of it as downtime, but it's actually when your brain does some of its most critical work. During deep sleep, your brain clears out toxins, consolidates memories, and repairs itself. Without enough quality sleep, your memory and cognitive function can suffer. Research shows that poor sleep is linked to an increased risk of memory problems and even conditions like Alzheimer's disease. A study from the University of California, Berkeley, found that older adults who experienced fragmented sleep had higher levels of beta-amyloid plaques, a hallmark of Alzheimer's, in their brains. On the flip side, getting consistent, restorative sleep can enhance memory retention and problem-solving skills. So how much sleep do you really need? Most experts recommend 7 to 9 hours per night for adults. But it's not just about quantity, it's also about quality. To improve your sleep hygiene, try sticking to a regular bedtime routine, avoiding screens an hour before bed, and creating a relaxing environment in your bedroom. Some people find practices like meditation or gentle yoga helpful for winding down at the end of the day. I'll never forget what happened when my Uncle Harry started prioritizing his sleep. He used to pride himself on being able to function on just 4 or 5 hours a night, but he noticed his memory was slipping and he felt constantly fatigued. Once he committed to going to bed earlier and establishing a calming pre-sleep ritual, everything changed. Within weeks, he told me, "I feel sharper, more energized, and honestly happier." By now, you're probably starting to see how interconnected these habits are. Movement supports your brain, mental stimulation keeps it engaged, nutrition fuels it, and sleep allows it to recharge. Together, they form a foundation for long-term brain health. But there's still one more piece of the puzzle we haven't discussed yet, and it's something that many people overlook entirely. Stay tuned, because what comes next might be the simplest change of all, but it could have the biggest impact on your life. Now that we've covered movement, mental stimulation, nutrition, and sleep, let's talk about a habit that might surprise you, but it's just as vital for keeping your memory sharp, staying socially connected. You might be wondering, what does spending time with friends or family have to do with my brain? The answer is, a lot more than you might think. Research shows that strong social connections aren't just good for your emotional well-being, they're also crucial for your cognitive health. Think about the last time you laughed with a close friend or shared a meaningful conversation with a loved one. Those moments probably left you feeling happier and more energized, right? That's because social interaction stimulates areas of the brain involved in memory, attention, and problem-solving. A study from Rush University Medical Center found that older adults who reported having strong social networks had a 70% lower rate of cognitive decline compared to those who were more isolated. It's not just about having people around. It's about engaging in meaningful, positive interactions that challenge your brain and lift your spirits. But here's the catch. As we age, staying socially active can become more challenging. Maybe your kids have moved away, or you've retired and lost touch with colleagues. Perhaps health issues or mobility challenges make it harder to get out and see people. I understand how easy it is to fall into a pattern of isolation, but I want to encourage you to take small steps toward building and maintaining connections. One of the simplest ways to stay socially engaged is by joining a group or club based on your interests. Whether it's a book club, a gardening group, or a volunteer organization, being part of a community gives you something to look forward to and keeps your mind active. I once met a woman named Carol who joined a local knitting circle after her husband passed away. At first, she was hesitant, thinking she wouldn't fit in. But within weeks, she told me, "These women have become like family. We share stories, laugh together, and even learn new techniques from each other. It's been such a gift." If leaving the house isn't always an option, technology can be a wonderful tool for staying connected. Video calls, social media, and online communities allow you to interact with others without needing to travel. My neighbor Ruth, who's 82, swears by Zoom calls with her grandchildren. She says, "Seeing their faces light up when they show me their latest school project makes my whole week." Even sending a quick text or email to check in with someone can strengthen your bonds and give you a sense of purpose. Beyond socializing, nurturing emotional well-being is another key factor in protecting your memory. Chronic stress, loneliness, and depression can all take a toll on your brain, increasing inflammation and impairing cognitive function. On the flip side, cultivating positivity and resilience can help safeguard your mental clarity. Practices like mindfulness meditation, journaling, or simply taking a few minutes each day to reflect on what you're grateful for can make a big difference. Let me share a story about my friend Tom. After retiring, he went through a rough patch where he felt aimless and disconnected. He started seeing a counselor who encouraged him to try gratitude journaling. Every night before bed, Tom wrote down 3 things he was thankful for that day. At first, he wasn't sure it would work, but after a month, he noticed a shift. Not only did he feel happier overall, but he also found himself remembering details from his days more clearly. He told me, "It's like my brain started working better because my heart felt lighter." Another powerful way to boost emotional well-being is through acts of kindness. Helping others doesn't just benefit them, it benefits you too. Studies show that volunteering or performing random acts of kindness releases feel-good hormones like oxytocin and serotonin, which can improve mood and reduce stress. One study from Carnegie Mellon University even linked volunteering to a reduced risk of high blood pressure, which is a known risk factor for memory problems. Even small gestures count. Maybe it's baking cookies for a neighbor, offering to help a friend run errands, or simply smiling at someone during your daily walk. These moments of connection remind us that we're part of something bigger than ourselves, and that sense of belonging is incredibly nourishing for the brain. Of course, staying motivated to adopt these habits isn't always easy. Life has its ups and downs, and some days it might feel like too much effort to cook a healthy meal, go for a walk, or call a friend. When motivation wanes, focus on consistency instead of perfection. Remember Margaret, the woman I mentioned earlier who started walking at 68? She didn't set out to walk 2 miles every day right away. She began with just 5 minutes around the block, and that was enough to build momentum. The same principle applies to any habit you're trying to develop. Start small, celebrate tiny wins, and don't beat yourself up if you miss a day. Progress, not perfection, is what matters most. And if you ever feel stuck, reach out to someone, a friend, family member, or healthcare provider, for support. Sometimes, just talking about your goals can reignite your motivation. By now, you've learned about the importance of physical activity, mental stimulation, nutrition, sleep, social connection, and emotional well-being. Each of these habits plays a unique role in supporting your memory and overall brain health. But here's the thing, they work best when combined. It's not about picking 1 or 2 favorites. It's about creating a balanced lifestyle that incorporates all of them in a way that feels sustainable and enjoyable for you. So now that you have all these tools, let's wrap things up with some final words of motivation and a simple challenge you can start today. Because while knowing what to do is important, taking action is where the real magic happens. Stay tuned. I promise you'll leave this video feeling inspired and ready to take charge of your brain health. Now that we've explored all 5 habits, movement, mental stimulation, nutrition, sleep, and social connection, it's time to bring it all together. These aren't just random suggestions, they're interconnected pieces of a puzzle that, when put together, create a powerful framework for protecting your memory and living life to the fullest. Let's recap what we've covered so far in a way that ties everything neatly into your daily routine. First, remember how important it is to keep your body moving. Whether it's a morning walk, a yoga session, or even dancing to your favorite songs in the living room, staying physically active gets blood flowing to your brain and supports its health. Studies show that regular movement can reduce the risk of cognitive decline by improving circulation and reducing inflammation. So find something you enjoy and stick with it. Next, don't underestimate the power of challenging your mind. Engaging in mentally stimulating activities like puzzles, reading, or learning a new skill helps build cognitive reserve, which acts as a buffer against memory loss. Think of it as giving your brain a workout. The more you use it, the stronger it stays. And if you're worried about finding time for this, start small. Even 15 minutes a day can make a difference. Nutrition came next, and I hope you're convinced that what you eat matters, not just for your waistline, but for your brain. A diet rich in whole foods, healthy fats, antioxidants, and omega-3s provides the fuel your brain needs to function at its best. Swap processed snacks for nutrient-dense options like nuts, berries, or dark chocolate, and watch how those little changes add up over time. Remember Margaret's story? Small dietary tweaks led to big results for her energy and memory. Then there's sleep, the unsung hero of brain health. Quality rest allows your brain to clear out toxins, consolidate memories, and recharge for the next day. If you're struggling to get enough shut-eye, try creating a calming bedtime routine. Turn off screens early, dim the lights, and maybe sip on some herbal tea while you read or listen to soothing music. Trust me, your brain will thank you. Finally, we talked about the importance of staying socially connected and nurturing your emotional well-being. Building strong relationships, practicing gratitude, and helping others not only enrich your life but also protect your brain. Social connections stimulate cognitive processes, while positive emotions reduce stress and inflammation. Even something as simple as calling a friend or writing in a gratitude journal can have profound effects on your mental clarity and happiness. Here's the beautiful part. These habits aren't meant to overwhelm you. They're designed to be flexible and adaptable to your unique lifestyle. You don't need to overhaul everything overnight. Instead, focus on one area at a time. For example, if you already walk regularly, try adding a crossword puzzle or audiobook to your routine. Or if you love cooking, experiment with recipes featuring brain-boosting ingredients like salmon or blueberries. Slowly layer in these practices until they become second nature. Let me leave you with one last piece of inspiration. Did you know that researchers estimate up to 40% of dementia cases worldwide could potentially be prevented or delayed through lifestyle changes? That statistic comes from a report published in The Lancet, and it underscores the incredible power we have to influence our own health. Aging doesn't mean losing control. It means taking charge in smarter, more intentional ways. I want you to think about this. What's one small step you can take today to support your brain health? Maybe it's going for a 10-minute walk, trying a new recipe, or reaching out to an old friend. Whatever it is, commit to it right now. Write it down, set a reminder on your phone, or tell someone else about your plan. Accountability makes a world of difference. And here's a challenge for you. For the next 7 days, pick one habit from each category we discussed and practice it daily. Walk for 10 minutes, do a quick puzzle, eat 1 serving of berries, aim for 7 hours of sleep, and connect with someone you care about. At the end of the week, reflect on how you feel. Chances are, you'll notice subtle improvements in your mood, energy, and mental sharpness. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these habits resonated most with you? Are you excited to try incorporating more movement, better nutrition, or deeper social connections into your life? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one and love hearing your stories. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on healthy aging. Sharing this with a friend or family member who might benefit is another great way to spread the message. As we close, I want to remind you of something truly important. Your age does not define your potential. Life after 60 can be vibrant, fulfilling, and full of opportunities to grow. By embracing these habits, you're not just safeguarding your memory. You're investing in a future where you can continue to thrive, connect, and enjoy every moment. Here's to living your best life at any age. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.